Hello,
Oh, I need
hello,
to do
Danger Noodles. We are back with the GOCs. The first one is Christianity.
that. Disagrees, I think. Sup, bro?
I'm sorry.
What do you want?
I'm sorry, I had to say that. Anyways, no. The first one is actually the manna-charitable-foundation. Overview. Established in 1971 as an interfaith humanitarian relief agency. Recovered documents describe the manna-charitable Foundation's mission as sharing all of God's miracles with the least of his children. Funded,
Sorry.
bless you. Funded indirectly through associations with various charitable groups and religious organizations, and on occasion publicly endorsed by wealthy philanthropists or academic institutions. Did I say that right?
I mean, for the most part, yeah.
Holy shit, I actually said it right. Anyways,
Philanthropist.
Keep going.
the MCF's primary agenda since its founding has been the free distribution of anomalous objects and their byproducts to civilians living in poverty-stricken regions in the Third World or to areas afflicted by warfare, famine, or natural disaster, aka Christianity. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I can't stop comparing it to Christianity.
Well, I mean, let's just be frank. This is less satire and more just like Christianity if they're actually, following the teachings well.
Yeah.
Try to help people who are needy.
Wasn't there that one, I forgot what she's called, but it's a step above priest? That one lady who was a Catholic, Catholic something. One
Cardinal?
step above, huh?
Cardinal?
Yeah. That one cardinal who basically told a certain Cheeto Puff to have mercy on those who need help, and he took it as an attack.
Yeah. Wait, was she Catholic? I thought it was a different denomination.
I thought it was Catholic, but maybe I was wrong.
I'm pretty
Eh,
sure
but-
they're trying to think. I think that's like an Anglican church of some kind. I
Oh,
can't remember either. But yeah, I think we know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Anyways, to continue, the MCF is currently recognized as a non-governmental organization by the United Nations and is known to operate legally and illegally in several hostile and or isolated regions outside the Foundation's sphere of influence. While no SCP objects known to have been distributed by the MCF to date have caused intentional harm to human beings or communities, and detained MCF operatives tend to demonstrate strong pacifist beliefs, containment breaches associated with the group have often resulted in human casualties or severe threats to the global status quo due to unforeseen consequences of the object's release from containment and or a zeal to distribute potentially helpful objects immediately without rigorous scientific study for their long-term behavior. Also, there's one thing I forgot to show at the beginning of stream, and I'm a fucking idiot.
What?
For stream, in case you haven't seen on Twitter, I am showing this right now, the Great Dr. Breakstone-a-thon, as well as the mini donation goals that you can achieve, now happen on April 1st, 2025 for the Immune Deficiency Foundation. Thank you for your time. Alright.
Okay. So before even getting into incidents that they have, I'll just say I'm feeling a strong, neutral or chaotic good. Either that or incompetent good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they seem like they're probably going to be good, but they might go to incompetent good.
Yeah. Why is everything in bold?
Because
We
the
need
diddly
you to-
is in bold. I should not
we
say it
need
like
you
that.
to be aware of the fact that we are serious.
Oh my gosh! On the left, the things are just Christmas colors. I'm sorry. Anyways, statues. Oh, we actually get to see their statues and what they believe in. That would probably be important, wouldn't it?
Name and status.
Right. Alright, so Article 1, Name and Status. The manna-charitable-foundation, also called MCF, or merely the Charitable, is a not-for-profit association dedicated to humanitarian assistance in all its facets and fulfilling health and prevention, infrastructure and development, training and research, rescue and intervention, and logistics missions and programs, wherever and whenever they are necessary, organized in accordance with UNOCHA regulations and lawful restrictions in all countries its personnel may operate. Why do they have to use "and" so many damn times? I'm sorry.
Because
Solely to fuck with you in particular.
Oh boy, this is gonna be great.
honestly, that's just how some people write. I mean, it's not grammatically incorrect, but it is annoying.
Yeah. Alright, Article 2, Headquarters. There will exist no headquarters that may act as a single centralized office for the manna-charitable-foundation. Instead, 5 continental head offices have been created: Toronto, Canada, as the American headquarters, Barcelona, Spain, as the European headquarters, Hong Kong, China, as the Asian headquarters, Canberra, Australia, as the Oceanian headquarters, and Johannesburg, South Africa, as the African headquarters. These sites will gather and distribute local resources, donations, and volunteers to address the needs in an assigned area of operations as they become manifest.
Just so you know, I'm pretty sure that's Johannesburg.
Johannesburg.
I feel like a few of the locations they picked as main headquarters in different continents are slightly places that don't always get along with other countries nearby. But that's okay.
Yeah.
Alright, now the important part. The goals. Article 3, Goals. As stated in the Grand Charter of the Manna-Charitable-Foundation and rubricated by the Founding Council, this foundation swears to provide assistance to those dire need due to conflict, natural disaster, environmental decay, supernatural harm, or other events of calamitous effect on human life, such means of subsistence in existing or future societies, until such a time when these services are neither required nor necessary.
By the way, that's calamitous.
Got it. Those members joining our ranks shall provide assistance to any human being that requires it to the best of their capacities, with the utmost dedication and no restriction on the resources that may use to fulfill this duty, including the usage of abnormalities in all their varied aspects. For as long as they are a part of this foundation, they will do so without any consideration of gender, race, ideology, religion, social status, or abnormality in those they assist. Okay, well that's not bad.
Yeah.
All members of the manna-charitable-foundation accept the Grand Charter as the core of our collective enterprise in the distilled form of its ambitions, therefore embracing its final goal as their own. That is, we as an association swear to heal the world and its denizens. Alright. Article 4. Activities. 1. The manna-charitable-foundation will perform any and all activities that further its goals as related to the Grand Charter. with regards to missions and programs elaborated by its boards. 2. However, the manna-charitable-foundation does not resort to violent means of interaction with human beings, nor will ever sanction such interactions when undertaken by its members. 3. The manna-charitable-foundation may resort to abnormal assets in multiple forms, be it using esotericism. Say that right? Because I almost said esoterrorism.
Esoterrorism. Yeah, esoterrorism.
Esoterrorism. Alter scientific techniques and or combinations thereof with normal assets, for as long as doing so does not cause greater harm than the absence of their use to its members, the world, or its denizens. 4. Manna-charitable-foundation may research, bear witness, and emit impartial denounces of useful information for all the world to hear. 5. The manna-charitable-foundation will ensure compliance by its members with the principles outlined in the Grand Charter. This compliance may be enforced by associated or regulating organizations to whom MCF members may be made accountable by the laws of those countries or societies where they operate. 6. The manna-charitable-foundation will be legally responsible for the activities of many associated institutes, organizations, work groups, and free agents, and any and all activities performed by them that adhere to the Grand Charter will be considered adequate and protected to the best of the MCF's power. 7. The manna-charitable-foundation will ensure transparency to all its donors, when possible, and its most trusted benefactors as they require it. 8. The manna-charitable-foundation will ensure the longest period of survival possible for the world and its denizens, and if feasible, their perpetuation or their transplantation to other safer locations.
It sounds like a really nice group so far.
Yeah.
SCP-514, Spoon of Evil. Well, that's,
Wait, what?
That's the author. It's
Oh,
finding it funny.
testimonies. Wait, are the testimonies different newsletters written by the foundation?
Maybe.
The Manna-Charitable Foundation?
Well, we also have ongoing work, where SCPs are. I'm curious what 514 is.
I guess read 514.
Alright. SCP-514 is a flock of Columba via domestica, or homing pigeons. Visual analysis confirms that these pigeons are in fact the kind used in white dove release ceremonies. However, the type of ceremony they were used in, or the identity of who bred these doves, is currently unknown.
Did you just say doves?
I meant doves. I say doves.
She did call them doves. She should have said doves, but she said doves.
I find that so funny because I've been playing a lot of Skyrim, and dove is the term in Dragon Tongue for a dragon. So you just said we have no idea who bred these dragons. Hence why the player character is also called the Dovahkiin, or Dragonkin.
Alright. What makes SCP-514 unusual is the weapon and aggression nullification zone of influence. It seems to project around itself. This zone of influence projects itself in a roughly 500-meter radius around the flock, though this estimation varies depending on the flock's size. This zone of influence renders every known type of weapon inoperable and often destroys affected weapons after prolonged exposure. For instance, firearms will immediately jam or misfire, explosives will be rendered inert, and melee weapons will decay into dust. I almost said rust. They will decay
into rust.
Dust makes more sense.
Yeah. Also, the items 514's zone of influence destroys appear to be selective. In addition to its weapon nullification ability, 514 can also somehow suppress violent emotions and intent in sentient beings within the zone of influence. Interviews with staff and civilians who have been exposed to the zone of influence said that they felt very calm and content, even when they felt stressed and angry just moments before. Currently, there appears to be no harmful or lasting effects to being exposed at 514's zone of influence. Rigorous physical and psychological screening of individuals exposed to the zone of influence showed nothing out of the ordinary. 514 was first discovered when numerous reports of weapon stockpiles were reported as having been destroyed in numerous African nations. While initial reports were written off as poor maintenance on the part of the owners of the weapons, additional reports of sightings of a flock of homing pigeons, which are uncommon in Africa, garnered Foundation interest. An investigation team was sent to track down 514, where they encountered a team claiming to be affiliated with the manna-charitable-foundation, who are also tracking it. The MCF members admitted they released 514 in an effort to end all conflict in Africa. Despite not having a reliable way to control its movements. Unfortunately, the MCF was apparently unaware that 514's aggression suppression effects were only temporary once affected subjects were no longer within its zone of influence, and they would resume hostilities with improvised or primitive weaponry once 514 left. In addition, 514's random movements caused only certain regions to be disarmed, leaving them vulnerable to invasion by their unaffected neighbors. Oh boy. It took another 3 weeks before MTF Lambada 4 were able to bring the Redacted to control 514's movements. The MCF members were then challenged the Foundation's team for possession of both 514 and the Redacted. Since both parties were still under 514's effects, the conflict was resolved through a single round of rock, paper, scissors. The Foundation... with the Foundation being the victor. The MCF members then fled the area before they could be further questioned. The origin of 514 and how it came into the possession of the MCF remains unknown.
I'm starting to think that Hatchet was right, and we need to put this group in incompetent good.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the very least, as far as the SCPs are concerned, because like, as an organization,
that was definitely the suggestion. They accidentally killed a lot of people in Africa.
Yeah.
There's some logs left, as well as some addendums, so I'm not sure if something different happened.
Well, I mean, I doubt that there's I doubt that there's much of anything else we need to glean from it for the purposes of the stream. But if you want to read it, go ahead.
I have to read this. Addendum 3, as of redacted 20... Redacted 2000 redacted, all members of Mobile Task Force Lambada 4 are required to be proficient in various non-violent competitive activities, including but not limited to sports, board games, card games, video games, trivia, riddles, and rock, paper, scissors. Are you serious? The fate of one of our SCPs could be decided on the outcome of rock, paper, scissors? 05 redacted.
You know what? That's a fair point.
I assure you, sir, you have nothing to fear. We are dead serious about these matters. Captain Redacted, Mobile Task Force Lambada 4, Bird Watchers. Note, Captain, couldn't you have chosen a more dignified game as your primary conflict resolution method? Seeing two grown men in all black tactical gear taking a children's card game so seriously is off-putting. 0511. Like the 05 is just looking at this like, the fuck?
Well, they gotta do what they gotta do.
So we basically know where to put this now?
Well, I mean, this is one incident.
So we probably should read another SCP.
Yeah, let's try reading another. This is the sort of situation where I feel like stories would probably be more accurate in helping us, but we probably don't have time to read a bunch of stories.
Yeah. Alright, this one's short, so...
Yeah.
SCP-1135 is an isolated village in the state of Redacted, India. The village was attributed the name of Redacted prior to its acquisition by the Foundation, and contains approximately redacted houses, as well as several places of commerce and a Hindu temple. The structure of the buildings is unusual for the region, as they are larger and built with far more technologically advanced materials than other villages in the area. All buildings are fully equipped with running hot and cold water, electricity, and sewerage, again, unusual for the area. It is unknown how the homes receive electricity, as they are not connected to any form of generator, and this is considered to be an effect of 1135. In addition, the roads in the village, and for 2 kilometers around the village, are also fully paved with asphalt concrete. Alright, investigation of the building materials reveals strands of organic fiber running through all the buildings, and any permanent fixtures in the village not introduced by an outside force. The fibers do not ever appear to compromise the integrity of any structures. These organic fibers extend up to 3 meters below ground and form a network under the village. These fibers grow, repair themselves, and appear to absorb nutrients from the soil. As such, 1135 is considered a single living organism with certain similarities to fungi. The fibers of 1135 appear to be able to generate a wide variety of organic and non-organic materials around themselves, allowing them to generate the structures found within the village. This allows the structures to repair themselves, and periodically, new buildings grow organically from the soil, maintaining structural integrity at all times during this process. Similarly, when space is limited, some structures will appear to collapse and disintegrate, the fibers within atrophy. 1135 appears to require some form of sustenance to survive, as well as absorbing water and nutrients from the soil. The organism appears to consume waste left within the boundaries of the village. Waste of all varieties left in the area affected by 1135 begins to deteriorate and decompose at an extremely accelerated rate. This produces no odor and typically leaves no remains. This process does not affect living organic tissue, soil, or any object being used in some way by those within 1135. It is believed that 1135 converts these materials into nutrients for itself through an unknown process. If so, it is unknown how 1135 differentiates between waste and other matter. If 1135 goes for long periods without feeding, it will destroy structures possibly in order to render them down for sustenance. Likewise, if 1135 has been able to consume large amounts of waste, Also to construct new buildings and improve existing ones at an increased rate. If humans or animals cause substantial or repetitive damage to structures formed by 1135, the organism will begin to construct elaborate traps in order to injure, drive off, or kill attackers. These range from simple pitfalls to caltrops to elaborate traps, which would indicate complex intelligence in a human. These traps will, if not triggered, disappear within a period of 20 to 30 days. Outside of these circumstances, 1135 is never hostile or dangerous to human life. Additionally, 1135 appears to be able to differentiate between damage caused indirectly or directly by living organisms and damage caused by other forces. These findings suggest that 1135 may possess some form of intelligence, but this is unproven. 1135-1, 1135 was discovered unredacted after a reporter investigating aid efforts in the area recorded interviews with local residents claiming that buildings grew overnight. 1135 had an estimated population of redacted at the time of its discovery by Foundation operatives. Residents interviewed reported that the village had possessed anomalous properties for redacted years prior to the Foundation's intervention. After the village had been the site of a sustainable housing development scheme orchestrated by an organization by the name of the Manna-Charitable-Foundation. The Manna-Charitable-Foundation is apparently fictitious, and no attempts to identify those involved in the scheme have been successful.
Huh?
That
seems inaccurate.
Yeah.
It's probably just a frustrated Foundation's interpretation of the group.
Yeah. All residents of 1135 were expelled and administered Class A or Class B amnestics, depending on how long they lived in the village. All aid schemes in the areas since have been monitored by the Foundation, although no other anomalies or any further information regarding the Manna-Charitable-Foundation has since come to light. Addendum 1135-2. Following a routine observational expedition carried out on Redacted, several buildings appear to have developed security cameras on their outer walls and in certain indoor areas of the village buildings. These cameras have been observed to track waste disposal and research teams as they move through the village, and to conduct periodic sweeps of the village when undisturbed. Requested to dismantle one of the cameras for research purposes are currently pending approval by Dr. Redacted. So, it looks like they're trying to do good, but...
They're trying, but not very successful at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing with this. Like, this place, like, say you accidentally damage it. This place is gonna try to get rid of you.
Yeah.
Like, think of kids. They're gonna accidentally destroy stuff. This thing is not gonna like kids.
Kids always do things like that because they're kids.
Right. Oh, I forgot. Wait, the Manna-Charitable Foundation on here? Yes, they are. Some quotes. Alright. This actually might help out too. Alright, from SCP-1501. Helping out the homeless is the most important cause a wealthy citizen such as yourself can donate to. After all, what if it was you stuck on the streets, eating nothing but garbage and depravity? This is what the homeless in Chicago go through every day. Imagine having to crawl on your belly through a whole load of waste material just to eat a single beet. This is what real life is like. The fuck?
What?
What?
I'm sorry, but none of the homeless my family has ever been friends with never had to crawl on their belly to eat a beet. What the fuck is even what?
I don't know.
I feel like my brain is broken.
Alright, the 15th anonymous donation. Things are a little rough here, but we were able to set up shop in an abandoned medical college. There's a lot to do today, so this bulletin will be brief, but I just want to let you know that we're focusing on recovery, medical aid, and I assigned a few crews to restore down power lines. From the Huh?
I was going to say, that sounds good, because of all the mistakes they made, that actually sounds good for once.
Yeah. From best as it gets, the way it came out was miraculous. Last month, it was an empty lot, with MCF operatives handing out food and clean water and offering medical services. The operatives were still there, working out a fully functioning concrete building, lights, air conditioning, everything working perfectly. A fully built hospital in the middle of a Somali refugee camp should have been a beacon for masses of humanity, writhing and shuffling and pushing one another as they sought desperately needed aid. A beacon for hope and humanity. So why was it fucking empty? Oh.
Oh.
I don't know, bud. So, do we still need to see more, or?
I think we're good.
Incompetent good.
No, it's incompetent good, yeah.
That's what I
meant
saying.
we're good
Like,
as
they're
in, like,
trying.
we have the knowledge.
Alright,
Yeah,
so,
this is their gold star for trying.
so I'm gonna put them
You
in
tried.
front of...
We're giving you the crayons.
I'm putting them in front of the Church of Broken God, because Church of Broken God still did some even worse shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to be fair, here's the biggest thing. This is SCP, so it's obviously going to hard focus on the anomalous stuff. But outside of that, they also have non-anomalous stuff that's just acting as a proper charitable aid organization.
Alright.
So, like,
oh, sorry.
to me, I feel like the assumption is that they're incompetent good when it comes to anomalies, but otherwise they would probably be in neutral or lawful good.